there, I'm Dr. Nancy Collins. I'm a registered and licensed dietitian who specializes in wound care, and I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm in private practice, and I have a pretty varied job that I do. I've built a pretty big practice over the last 30 years. Of course, first priority always is patients, so I like to see individual patients. And as I said, it's evolved that most of the patients I see now are those who have some sort of a chronic non-healing wound. And I also have quite a big medical malpractice component to my business here. I review cases where dietitians have been implicated in some sort of wrongdoing or some sort of problem with the patient, whether, depending on the state that you're in, it could be malpractice or it could be negligent suits or even wrongful death suits. But of course, as we all know, nutrition has a big role, especially in the end of life in a lot of these nursing home cases where we see patients where it would not be unusual for them to have lost 40 or 50 pounds even. And then of course, sometimes these wounds lead to amputations, and all of this leads to unmet expectations. And unfortunately, that sometimes leads to litigation. I think that I make a difference as a dietitian, certainly in my patients' lives, because I've had a lot of people who told me that, you know, obviously I've helped them a great deal by healing their wound. It's no fun to have a wound that is, first of all, painful, second of all, unsightly or inhibits your function, depending on where it is, and that, you know, costs a lot of time and money to get treated. So if we can heal these in a quicker manner, of course, the patient is going to be very happy. And some of these people, you know, have even gone as far as to say that I, you know, really saved their life. It can go even, you know, that far. You sometimes think, oh, well, dietitians are not out there saving lives, but I think sometimes we are. So, you know, of course, and then I've made a difference to a lot of these dietitians who are, of course, very stressed when you hear from a lawyer that they feel something you've done has harmed a patient. I mean, that's really, you know, the freak out time, and people, you know, don't know what to do. But I think that I'm very good at being, you know, fair and balanced and looking at what the appropriate standard of care is and rendering an opinion that, you know, sometimes you have missed something, and sometimes you've done everything possible and there's still a bad outcome. So it, you know, it goes both ways. But I do pride myself on being able to dig through, you know, a 5,000 or 10,000 page chart and get to the heart of the issue and see if the standard of care was adhered to or not. So there's plenty of ways we make a difference every day. I don't know, it's just fun to tackle a lot of different projects and see what happens. Certainly, I'd like to encourage everybody to get involved with the association, because I've done probably nearly, I'd say at least 30 years continuous of volunteer work. And it's how I've networked. It's how I've gotten a lot of jobs. Sometimes people ask me, well, how do you get all these gigs? It's because a lot of people do know me, and I'm on a lot of boards, and I publish a lot, and I do a lot of volunteer work. So I think that it's really good to be involved, and that's, you know, how you can sometimes even market yourself as at the same time. So I think that that is definitely a good thing. And if you're thinking, well, maybe you should get involved, I think that you should take the plunge and you should do it.